Monster. The Attack on Titan X-Mute Listener Fanfic by Mokamaki. Chapter 39, Part 3. Your Name's Point of View. I could feel my heart slowly beating loudly through my ears. I could hear the voices of my friends calling for me. They were close but felt so far away. I could smell the blood around me and the numbness of my missing arm and leg. Something isn't right. I feel something moving inside my body. What is this feeling? This feeling of something moving is spreading out. It's like I'm slowly losing control. What's happening to me? I can't stop it. It's consuming me. I can't... Why do I feel so angry? Why do I feel so hot? Someone, help me. Who said that? Then, everything felt dark. Your name! Are you okay? Aaron called. Your Name used her one arm to stand up slowly. She wobbled a bit as she stood hunched over. Her bloody white dress was not ripped. Her braided pigtails were a mess, and her muzzle strap was snapped off. Everyone's eyes grew wide. She was standing on 2 legs. They could have sworn they saw her missing one before, but now there's 2. They noticed dried blood on her upper thigh, and saw how it suddenly disappeared from one of her legs. Her leg. Did it grow back? Sasha asked. But how? She's not even a Titan shifter. Even I can't regenerate that fast. Both of my arms were ripped off by Reiner and they took a while to grow back. How did Your Name get her leg back so quickly? Aaron asked. Your Name lifted her missing arm dripping with blood. And as quick as a flash, a new arm suddenly grew back, veins surrounding it as she did. Everyone's eyes widened. She grew a new arm that fast? How? Jean was lost for words. Her regeneration! It surpasses mine, but how? Aaron asked. Your Name breathed heavily as the muzzle she previously wore fell to the ground, laying there cracked and broken. It was then the group realized something wasn't right. Your name? Aaron asked. Still hunched over, she slowly turned around. The group watched as Your Name wobbled a bit, almost like something was controlling her body. Your Name finally lifted up her face to reveal a menacing expression that was on it. The group was expecting Your Name to look at them, but the Your Name they were looking at was not her. Your Name's hair used to be neatly tied braided pigtails, but was now loose, and her hair completely turned white, complete with purple highlights at the end of her braids. Her eyes were glaring daggers at them with veins surrounding both of her eyes. What really drew their attention was the obvious black veins or markings all around her skin, throbbing as she stumbled forward. Blood continued to leak out from Your Name's body, as if there were still some strings trapped deep inside of her. They were completely taken aback. How did this happen? What is this appearance she was taking? Your Name, Aaron said silently. Your Name continued to stare at them until they heard a noise from behind. They all turned to see a surviving MP soldier that surprisingly survived the ruckus by hiding somewhere. And this MP soldier happened to be the one functioning Your Name's string trap. One look at Your Name, and he immediately screeched. Monster! He held out his gun. The group called out, begging him to stop. Wait, stop! No! Don't shoot! Please, she's not a monster! But it was too late. A shot was fired and flew toward Your Name's arm, but the bullet didn't even pierce through. Instead, it dented as soon as it came in contact with Your Name's skin and fell to the ground. Your Name looked down at the bullet and back at the soldier. Oh, the menacing glare she was giving him. The MP soldier's eyes were wide as he realized that not only did he shoot at her, but he didn't even pierce. With inhuman speed, Your Name ran towards the man, who let out a loud scream and throwing the rest of them off guard.
Don't!
Your Name, stop! Your Name lifted up her leg to throw a kick, but the young man was quick enough to see that some strings were still bound to her and were hanging loosely from it. He grabbed one of the loose strings and pulled, causing Your Name to let out a loud gasp as the leg she raised up to kick was sliced off once more. Next is your head! He went to pull the strings again, but he didn't take notice to a leg flying towards his head, and with that, Your Name pinned him harshly to the ground as it cracked beneath him. The man let out a scream in pain as he felt Your Name's foot crushing his bones and his back as blood flew out of his mouth and nose, creating a tiny pool of it with a few teeth that he lost from the impact. The group watched in horror as Your Name raised her foot again and slammed it back down on the young man's back, crushing him even more. The young man growled as he gripped the loose strings around him and pulled, causing Your Name to be stumbled back as the strings dug deep, almost to the point where her body was cut into pieces.
I'll slice you to shreds!
The group watched in fear and horror as blood spurted out from Your Name's body and onto the ground. But she wasn't up in pieces. Like her skin was made out of hard rock. Your Name's body wasn't even cut up. No, not her skin. Her blood. Her blood managed to crystallize itself to the point where it couldn't cut through her skin. Her blood. It's solidified, Historia said. The young man below her was confused as to why her body hasn't fallen over, but his thoughts were interrupted as he felt a sizzling pain on his skin. His eyes widened as he realized that Your Name's burning blood has gotten on him and was now melting through his clothes and skin.
Gah!
He screamed in pain.
It's burning! It burns! It's melting my skin off! Someone help me!
He cried out as the group watched in horror as his face began to melt. The young man tried to wipe the blood off of him, but the damage was already done. He could barely see what he was doing because his eyes had melted. Your Name smiled in a creepy way as she brought her foot down again, but this time on the man's face. He screamed as Your Name squished his head onto the ground, and with a crazed smile proceeded to kick him harshly towards the wall. His body splattered onto it, confirming that he was indeed dead. Your Name panted as she stared at the splattered body of what used to be a young man, while the others stared in horror as they realized what Your Name had just done. They all knew her well enough to know Your Name would never attempt to kill anyone. This wasn't Your Name. Something was wrong with her. Your name? Sasha asked. Your Name heard her name being called out and turned towards the group. She could see their scared faces, but also noticed something else. She could smell and see the blood circulating around their body and knew what kind of blood they contained. Her eyes landed on Historia, who shared the same blood as that horrid man. Full of rage, Your Name sped towards Historia, who let out a scream. Your Name! No! I hope you weebs enjoyed the final part of chapter 39. If you did enjoy and made it this far, please subscribe if you're new to the channel, like this video if you enjoyed and for the next part, and comment down below what you think is going to happen next. Anyways, that's enough for me. My name is Bizarre, and I'll see you weebs in the next video. Cue the outro.
He's bizarre. He's bizarre. He's bizarre. Bizarre steps to his mic to make his little sounds. The weebs jump up and cheer. Hit subscribe and stick around. ASMR most times with Minecraft on the side. Some modded games or Deku there to soothe you when you cry. Go ahead, close your eyes, kick back and put him on, and get even more bizarre through his Patreon. Need a friendly pal to get you through the night? Well, get headphones, take a listen, and maybe hit subscribe. He's bizarre.